Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by your Southern California BMW Centers on the home of USC football. ESPN Los Angeles 710. We are live at the lab as always outside tonight with interim head coach Clay Helton and safety John Plattenberg. Plus, we'll dig into USC women's soccer with head coach Kidani McAlpine and World Cup winner, a special guest tonight, Amy Rodriguez. I am Jordan Moore alongside John Jackson and JJ. The Trojans pulled off their first double-digit comeback in 3 years. How did they do it? What was the key for you?
Well, I think that they really stuck together. I mean, a lot of times we've seen in games where the opponent gets off to a fast start, you know, it's often shell-shocking a little bit, and it takes a while to make adjustments and get back into the game and all that kind of good stuff. I think that, you know, on Saturday, you saw a team that, you know, even when Arizona had the lead, they didn't panic. And because of that, they sort of realized what was in front of them, and then once they realized that, they started to reel them in, and once they caught them, it was over. Well,
if they stuck together, it's a lot due to interim head coach Clay Helton, who joins us now. 3-0 in the second half, as he likes to say. Trojans Live brought to you by your Southern California BMW Centers, exclusive partner of the SoCal BMW Crosstown Cup. Now during the BMW Mission to Drive, lease a 2015 BMW 320i sedan for as low as $369 a month with zero due at signing. Just sign and drive. Details at SoCalBMW.com. All right, Coach, let me bring you in here. Coach Helton, same question to you. What was the key to the comeback?
I think, like JJ said, just no panic. You know, we literally just huddled up and said, all right, we just had the worst first quarter of our lives. You know, we're only down 2 scores. We're going to be okay. And
you did. There's actually video out. You said exactly that, which is you were honest with him, and you said that was as bad as you can play. Now let's play better.
Yeah, and the guys, there was a great look in their eye. There was a great sense of poise that, hey, you know what, let's just go out there and do our jobs. And we go down and get a field goal, make it 14-3, get a turnover by Platt, and then, you know, hit the big ball to Juju, which makes it 14-10, and then we're rolling. And it's 17-17 at half. We caught back up, and it was a brand-new ball game. And I thought the halftime adjustments that we made in the second half, especially in the run game, helped us, and a great win for our team.
What was it that got you off to that slow start? I mean, can you pinpoint it at this point? Was it just just off on the USC side, or did you see something different from Arizona?
No, it was just really a lack of execution by us. Okay. You know, we from a penalty to a drop ball to a turnover to a missed assignment and protection. Those are things you don't want in a whole game, let alone just one quarter.
Right.
You know, so we all took turns of a little bit of lack of execution. Then, you know, screwed it on tight, a little bit tighter, and got a lot better starting that second quarter.
Give us a little sideline insight, because when those type of things happen, I mean, when you're on with us, you know, it's calm and cool and all this kind of stuff, you know, your personality. How's your personality in situations where the team is not performing like they were Saturday night?
Well, I think as a leader of a team, you have to stay poised. They're going to react how you react, you know, and we talked about it as a coaching staff, whether we get up or we get down, we keep the same mentality with our kids, you know, give them great confidence, build confidence, and that's what we've tried to do over the last 4 weeks, and I think the kids are buying into it.
You haven't been a great first quarter team over the last handful of weeks. You've been an amazing second and third quarter team. I mean, you know, sometimes those are just stats and numbers. Is there any sort of reason that you can put a finger on for that trend?
I think one of the things that happens being USC, I think teams do a great job. Everything that we scout, we don't see. So we have to be good.
So you could just go home then, Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Go home after
this. All this film I'm watching up till 1 a.m. is no good. But I think one of the things that they did a nice job of is they really decided, hey, we're going to stop your 2-back run game. We're going to overcommit to the box. And we had some better passes down the field out of that. But we decided to go back to our 1-back run game, spread that 3-3-5 out a little bit to create some running lanes. And I thought that was a difference in the game. So I think we have to do a great job as not only an offensive staff but a defensive staff, that whatever the opponent gives us, we have to be able to make those in-game adjustments. And I really have liked how we've done that over the last 3 games.
You know, Coach, the one thing that's been sort of, I would call it your safety valve, is that the offensive line is playing so well. They're playing so well physically up front that, you know, Arizona was at one point they just had to throw everybody in the box and play man across as well. You know, what is it about that group? I mean, there's a lot of guys that have been mix and match in between, a lot of rotations, guys getting hurt. I mean, there was, you know, there was a depth chart we thought to start to see 11 guys would touch the field, and pretty much all 11 have done that. What is it about that group?
I think, one, they're really a tight-knit unit, and they believe in the brotherhood of the unit and leaning on each other. And then, I think it was very valuable that we played a lot of kids early, and we went through some growing pains because of it, but now you look up, and thank goodness we did with a third-string center. Thank goodness we gave those reps to Chuma. Nobody noticed, but we lost Zach for the whole entire second half, and there was no lack of production. Chuma went in and did his job. So the experience that we've given those kids over these, over this first half of the season, now, into 3 games of the second half, I think it's been extremely valuable for them.
And they love run blocking.
Yes, they do.
And they love run blocking for Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is second. I mean, you try to bring along a freshman.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I mean, it's just sort of, the time is now, and he gets his 20-carry game. And we wondered, what could this kid do if we gave him 20 carries? Well, we found out he'll set the freshman rushing record.
Yeah, just really, really proud of the kid. And not we've always known he's a great runner. But really becoming a complete football player all the way around. And we pointed it out in the team meeting. I think there's several guys that are really not focusing on the strengths of what they do, but trying to perfect their weaknesses. We're trying to develop as a team and as players throughout the week. I pointed out Taylor McNamara, who's become a tremendous run blocker for us, not only a receiver weapon, but also a run blocker for us. And Rojo's that way too. Rojo is a guy that's developing ball skills out of the backfield. I was so proud of the catch that he made out of the backfield. It was a great play by him, and his pass protection's improved.
He said today he was just happy to catch one so he could quiet down his teammates who have been killing him for not being able to catch. And he swears he had a pick when he played corner in high school. He says it's on his huddle somewhere. So maybe you could dig it up at the next team meeting.
I'm going to try to look for that one.
Coach, with the way the team is playing, though, they are playing together, and it looks like they're having fun. What has driven that? Like, what has been the aspect that you sort of instilled in these guys has sort of driven that fun type of mentality? Because it seems like they're having a ball. I mean, Chuma was down the field celebrating with guys. I mean, it's incredible watching. It's fun watching the film because he's the first one down there celebrating when guys score touchdowns.
Yeah, well, we're playing for the love of the game right now. I think, and we're becoming a really tight-knit family. I think when you have a brotherhood of a group of men that are together, that are playing together, and you're loose as a staff, and you're having fun with them, and they know that you care about them, and you're coaching as hard as you can to help them win. I think it's all just coming together. I hope it continues for us. I really do. The kids are doing a great job, and I really want to credit our seniors, our older kids that have been through this scenario before of an interim coach and know exactly how to do it. A lot of credit goes to them.
And we're learning about you as a head coach, and you preach fearless football, and you practice what you preach. A little onside kick there, it doesn't come off, but does that set a tone for a team that, hey, we worked on this play, you feel the momentum, you had your shot, and you almost got it.
Yeah, I tell you, we always preach we're going to be aggressive. We want to play fearless football. We're not going to play afraid. We're going to play to win. And, I thought we did a great job of scouting on that play of being a huge hole between their center and right tackle on their kickoff coverage. Plus, they were bailing out. And, it was there. You roll of the dice. I really thought after, the pick, the next play is a touchdown, the momentum was rolling. Why not try it right there? I thought it was a good time. We didn't get it, but it was worth a try. Great stop by our defense, holding them to 3, and we were able to come back and get a touchdown to tie it up.
Another part of the game that gets unnoticed, I think, but you have to sort of recognize it because now it's happening over and over. You've been able to close out games when teams know you're going to run with the run game. I mean, that's old school USC football. What is attributed to that? Because that's one element that we hadn't seen in the past. It's really coming to the forefront now.
It's probably what I'm most proud of our team right now is stopping the run and running the ball when you have to. I think that's the mark of a good team, when everybody in the stands know you're going to do it. It happened in the Cal game, 6 runs in a row. This time we're down there in the red zone. What was really cool was we ran the same play 3 times in a row at the same formation, and we had a timeout. We brought it all over. I think there might have been a mutiny if I called anything else. So I looked at them, and they were like, "Coach, just call it. We're good."
See, Jordan,
and they ran it right in.
3 times in a row, I could coach it.
That's what I'm saying. The same play. You said the key to the comeback, JJ. You got this. I tell you what, though. I mean, we've gone this far, and we haven't even mentioned Juju Smith-Schuster, or Superman, as you call him. And we're talking about setting a tone. I mean, there's guys that sit out games for a lot less than that, and as Cody said today, rightfully so. But Juju's not that kind of guy. And then the first play of the game, what do? You throw it right to him, and then he catches it one-handed, left-handed. So he didn't actually prove he could use the cast, but eventually he would prove. But, I mean, what do you say about a performance like that and an inspirational performance for your whole team?
I think you hit the word inspirational, because I really thought it carried over to some other guys also that had some bumps and bruises, and you've seen a bunch that's really playing for each other. Even Claude Pallone. I mean, we had only planned on maybe playing a dozen to 15 plays in that game. He gets, I think the number was 36.
Wow.
Has a huge third down and fourth down stop that I really thought was a change in the ball game in the second half in a 2017 game. I just think number 9's inspirational to us right now. He's a warrior, and his mentality is rubbing off on other players, which is great to see.
Well, you're listening to Clay Helton on Trojans Live. He's talking some defense. I'm going to talk some more defense, and then Colorado when we come back. You're listening to Trojans Live on ESPN Los Angeles, 710.
Handoff, Ronald Jones up the middle. First down and more at the 40. He steps it back into the 50. Back outside of the 40 to the 35, the 30. Wow! Ronald Jones! No penalty markers, and the breeze blows through Arizona for 73 yards and a touchdown. How do? You can keep screaming all night long.
Back on Trojans Live, Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and Clay Helton. Pete Arbogast likes to call him the Breeze. Clay calls him the Wild Horse. Sarah calls him the Second Coming. He's got a lot of nicknames, Ronald Jones the Second. But, his backup, or the person he's splitting carries with right now, is we don't even talk about Cody Kessler, but another guy we don't talk about enough is Justin Davis. How has he improved? And, our knock on wood question of the week is the ball security across the board. All these guys, it's been key to your blueprint, and you give them carry after carry, and they really have improved in that area.
Yeah, they do a tremendous job, and Justin has been such a solid back for us for years now. And just to see his maturity and his run game maturity, especially if you look at the last 3 plays of that series we were talking about prior. Well, on the second play, Rojo takes the ball, and being a young back, he doesn't see the cutback lane and the C gap. He runs and pours it, just like he's running outside zone where he scored before he wanted to go back there. And so we brought Rojo off and said, Justin, you know what to do, go in there. And he takes it right back and scores the last touchdown. So his maturity of his game is what I've seen the most progress in, and just so glad he's here. He helps us game in and game out.
Talk about defensively a little bit. I mean, you got some great performers. You talked about Claude Pallone a little bit, but also Antoine Woods. I thought he might have played his best game as a Trojan last week.
Yeah, I tell you, the last 2 weeks, both Cal and this game, what a senior leader, especially in the run game. He's just been a rock, holding both A-gaps down for us and doing a tremendous job. I thought it was one of his best games as a Trojan, too.
Yeah, and the defensive line has been getting criticized. We back up 6-7 weeks, and we're like, wow, can't wait to get some more recruits in here. Now these guys are playing like first rounders. What's the difference?
Yeah, I think they've taken it to the practice field, from Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Tuesday being a run game day emphasis, Wednesdays focusing on technique and fundamentals of pass rush. I'm really proud of that area. You look at 6 sacks the other night, 10 tackles for loss. That's 13 sacks by that group in the last 4 games. And really in the Cal game, didn't get a sack, but the pressure that they put on Jared caused 2 interceptions. So they're doing a tremendous job right now. They're buying into the assignment, technique, and fundamentals of practice, and it's really carrying over to the game.
And I thought the defense keyed the 2 turning points of the game, and you mentioned one earlier, Claude Pallone's 4th and 1 stuff after you had the missed field goal. Air comes out of the building a little bit, and then earlier in the game, the one that really got you going is the guy we're going to talk to here in a little bit, John Plattenberg. And you only got the 1 turnover, but it was a huge one.
Yeah, but Platt made, I thought, really 2 huge plays in that game. One everybody saw was the interception, but the other one, our kickoff coverage team has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
They've covered a lot of kicks, and one finally broke out. And the effort he gave to make that tackle and chase that kid down and tackle him on the 40-yard line saved us points. They only got a field goal out of that drive instead of a touchdown, which it could have easily been. That was 2 huge plays by a really good player.
He said he had to break out his track speed. He was going back to his track days to get that guy down.
I'm sorry, I got to go back to the offensive side. I forgot one question. Cody.
Yeah.
Cody obviously has great chemistry with Juju, right? But he's had injuries across the other positions. It seems like it's making it a little bit difficult from a continuity standpoint. How do you get him on track with all the other receivers? Because it seems like there's somebody new every play.
I'm going to tell you what. There's no person on this team I'm more proud of than number 6. When you look at he's the glue that holds us all together. In the eye of the tornado, he is the calm.
Okay.
You know, when you go to your third string center and you got a rookie tackle out there and you got a rookie back beside you telling him what to do, he just calms everybody down. Meanwhile, he's out there, we're calling passes. He hasn't thrown an interception in 3 weeks,
Right.
you know, and extremely efficient, completing 70% of his passes over the last 3 weeks. I mean, kid is just absolutely incredible, and you know, credit to him. He's thrown it to some young kids, and Deontay Burnett,
Right.
you know, that's really broken out, and really he's developing a relationship with each one of these kids that I really, really appreciate, and he makes us a better team. He goes way unnoticed, but know this, we can't live without that guy.
The quarterback on the other side is pretty good this week, Sefo Liufau for the Colorado Buffaloes. What else do we know about the Buffs? Obviously an improving side.
Yeah, I tell you, Coach McIntyre, I know the wins aren't showing up for him, but you know we've seen him over the last couple of years. The kids that he's recruiting and bringing in, how he's developing and coaching them. This is a quality football team that has played extremely tight with a lot of good football teams.
They put a scare into the Bruins,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm going to tell you. So when we watch the tape, we're looking at a team that does not look like they were last year or the year prior.
Yeah.
We're looking at a very well-coached team that has been developed and older kids now. He played a lot of young kids early, and you know, when he first got there, those kids are older and they're playing really well. We'll have our hands full.
And, you know, Coach, you and Jordan have a major problem on Friday night, and that's going to be the weather, right?
It's not JJ's problem.
Not
He'll
my
be
problem.
up in his little cozy booth with his heater next to him.
Not my problem. But with that being said, how do you get ready for Colorado? Because there's two factors to it. It's the cold and how cold it's going to be or expected to be, and then the altitude. How do you deal with those two things?
Well, one, we never let outside factors affect our play. We're never going to use an excuse. They have to play in cold too, you know. And we've been to Notre Dame. You know, it was pretty cold there that day, and we played effectively. You know, I wish we would have had a better fourth quarter, but we played effectively. We've been to Colorado when there was snow on the ground, and it was 28 degrees outside, and we played effectively. So outside factors aren't going to affect us. We're not going to make excuses. From the altitude part of it, obviously, you know, you got to adjust. Hopefully 24 hours you adjust. But the good thing is we have numbers, you know, and we are deep, and we're able to get some more kids out there to be able to, if a kid needs a spell or need a blow, get them off and put the next guy in. And so that's how we'll handle it.
Coach, you're from the South. Any experience you ever been to the rodeo?
I've been to the Houston
I
Livestock
figured
Rodeo
you've
show.
been to the rodeo.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm Ralphie takes off the buffalo. You got any shot at wrangling him?
You don't.
Her? I think it's a her, actually.
I know there's one rule: do not get in Ralphie's way. That's besides trying to win the game, do not get near Ralphie.
So the Trojans are going to take on the Buffaloes, but not the Buffalo on Friday night.
No.
Thank you, Coach. That should be a fun one, albeit a cold one in Boulder on Friday night. That game is on ESPN2. It'll be at 6 o'clock kickoff here in Los Angeles, 7 o'clock where we will be in Boulder. And thank you to the coach, appearing each week. And his segment brought to you by Eckrich. And you want a chance to win tickets to the UCLA game, the final home game on November 28th, and a chance to throw for $1 million. Our friends at Eckrich and Ralph's are giving you that chance. To register, go to EckrichFootballChallenge.com or text Eckrich, ECKRICH, to 82257, and you could take center stage at the biggest game. The contest ends on November 11th, so this is your last chance to enter. Thank you to the coach. As he said, John Plattenberg was the turning point in the win over Arizona, so he joins us next on Trojans Live at the Lab.